pretty well. Hope everybody's doing well. We're just going to do a painting of a tree. I am not live. I am just recording, just applying. This is watercolor paper. Let's see if we can push you up just a tiny bit. Yeah, that's the top. That's pretty good. I'm just going to apply a little bit of, let's go with some white. Maybe have some color in it because we kind of a dirty palette today. It's okay. That'll work. That'll just throw some extra stuff in there. A little tiny touch of blue. Just putting a little background. Nothing too complicated, simple. It's just a standard primary blue. It's very tiny touch of white. A little bit more up here. A little bit right in there. We don't mind that. We're touching just the tip, just the edge of the brush. Just a little bit of something up in here for some movement. Yeah, we're gonna have a little chaos in the sky today. Just not a lot, just a little, tiny touch of water again. Didn't clean the brush, we just put a little tiny water so we can stretch our paint just a little bit. And we're gonna just bring this down. Oh, I don't know, just kind of soften that on the top just a little. I'm just touching the corner, just way down here. So we're just getting kind of a watercolor-esque amount of paint. Now I'm going to go into this is phthalo blue, but it's phthalo blue with a little bit of a green tint to it. Just a little bit different color, not a lot. I'm not going to use it as my, we got a little bit more. I shouldn't throw my white paint on the floor. I just wanted it to be a little bit in the background, so when I go to paint over it, I pick up a little bit of it. As you can see, I bring it down. And we don't have to go all the way to the bottom. It's totally up to you. I'm going to put a little darker blue down here, so I can use a little bit more white. And that way it kind of pulls it off that. Instead of mixing it all in my palette, I like to mix right here. Then we'll fade it up. We'll fade that up into there. Now we can either go with a real fancy crazy background, or we can just think about what we have, go into that blue, the primary blue. Let's see what we have for a background. I think we could go like this. I'll just bring that down, maybe just a little bit over here. Go back into my water. Touch a little tiny water off there so we don't get a 10. We're gonna a ton of it on there. We're just gonna kind of bring that down like that. I'll do the same on the other side. Something like that. You can make this as steep or as mellow as you want to. I just flipped it over and had a little bit of other paint on there. That's okay. And I'll just kind of bring that down like that. And something like that. And yes, I can paint both hands. Very ambidextrous. I'm actually a right-handed person. Most of the time. And I'll just kind of fade this in here, kind of pull it up. Just kind of bring that down, maybe a little bit this way. Get a little direction in there. I'm not worried about that. That's just a background anyway. We just want that in there so we can. I don't really want that to go down right there, because then it looks like it's just kind of. Now, while you have your brush still covered in blue paint, we're going to go and look at the background. We can see there's a little mountain back here. And we'll just kind of bring him in there. We'll fix the front one. That's not a big deal. And we'll bring him right over here. Maybe he's got to continue over here. We'll get a little sharper, little heavier blue. And we'll go back in here. Let's flip the other side. And we'll go back in here and just kind of put this back in. And we'll just use the fingers to kind of fade out that a little bit. Maybe we'll bring a little bit right in here, kind of a little bit on the bottom. And same deal, I'll just kind of. Yeah, let's kind of fade it down that way. Go back into this side, take a look at it, say, oh yeah, maybe we're right in here. Just a little bit. Something like that. There. Simple. And we just bring our brush and we'll kind of just pull it down. We get a little bit of that up in there, or just pull it up a little bit with just a damper, not super wet, just a little bit. Now I wouldn't give this too much paper. I mean, too much water if you were using a canvas. I don't know if I'd go that crazy with it. I think you'd end up with some pretty good issues with it. Now I'm going to go into I got a tiny touch of this really terrible Payne's gray, and it's going to be kind of wet. So we're going to pick a spot somewhere in here. And we'll just kind of bring it nice little, something like that. That way we can just decide where we want to put our ground. I'm trying to get that garbage off my brush a little bit here. I don't really want clumps. There we go. And we'll just kind of wiggle it left to right. Right to left. Totally up to you what direction you pull it in. If you feel like doing it a different direction. It's your artwork. Do what you want. I think you gotta remember when you're doing this stuff is that sometimes some things have to be a certain way. Water does not flow uphill. Buildings are built fairly symmetrical as far as how they're built. So we just gotta remember that when we do stuff. Now we're gonna think about this for a minute. We're gonna put a big tree right here. We only want the tree to probably go here. So we'll put the tree up there. So let's rinse off our brush and our water here. Make sure we get it fairly clean. Switch to a little smaller flat. Which one we want to go with? We want to start smaller. Yeah. We'll work our way up to the wider one. We're going to end up with Hello? Sorry, I was in the middle of a painting. My what? I don't have a clue. It's upstairs. Carolyn, the part where I just told you I'm in the middle of painting. No, she's working. Mm. All right, well, just have him pull out my credit card. I don't think we have a ton of money in there, though. How much is it? Oh, yeah, just call him up. Hell no. Okay, bye. Sorry about that. I had to answer my daughter. Yeah. Okay, she's just a tiny bit important. Okay, she's a lot important. All right, we're going to call this the top of the tree. That's a little thick, but that's okay. And we're going to bring this down. We got this really big, gnarly root system. Something like in there. We're going to go probably bigger than that, but let's start with that. Give me an idea what I'm looking at here. Something like that. I'm going to paint it right-handed for a minute so you guys can see it easier. Try to keep the paint off my hand a little bit. I'm going to go just with a little bit of burnt umber. Like that. I'll go tiny touch of raw umber in there. Go ahead and put it on the other side here. I'm just gonna bring that down. Bring that way over here. A lot of that is going to be off my. We're going to put that tree right out the top, probably, but we want to see how far I want to go. Yeah, we're going to take it right up. Now I'm just gonna bring out some stuff, a few branches. And just kind of simple branches, nothing too complicated. Don't be afraid to overlap them. It's good to remember they gotta get thinner toward the end, so otherwise you end up with these blocky looking branches. Let's bring this one maybe right up there. Now let's go a little bit lighter color. Right in here. Bring that right up in there, like that. I want to try to avoid having too many of the branches like to grow kind of toward the sun. Just saying. Bring that up. A little fatter right there. And we're not worried about this because we're gonna bring that up and we'll branch out right in here. And we'll go a little lighter colors. One right in there. Give that curve. We want to have them connect, you know. You like to get that one a little thicker in there. We're going to add some darker colors in there, but for now, tiny touch of water. And maybe we'll go with a little bit of darker. And we'll pull it out here and go right up. And we don't really want that guy shortened, so we'll make it thicker right there so we didn't mess up our tree. And then we'll take a little darker. Probably come right off here with a nice big one. Go a little light on the water here. Starts to skip like that, you want to add a little bit of water. And thicken that up. Thicken that up right there and curve that down. Remember the dimensions of the tree. What can the tree hold up? So let's go with a little bit of yellow ochre. Just gonna tap it in here. I'm gonna go into my white, right into my brown. It's gonna be on my brush, but we're not gonna. We're just gonna tap it in there. We'll go a little bit more white, I think. A little bit more. Now, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to touch in some orange. I'm going to bring some orange right in here. I'll bring that orange right down in there like that, and I'm going to pull that color up. It's just a primary orange. It's nothing fancy. I mean, just a normal orange, not primary orange. You know what I'm saying? The one out of the tube. Basic orange. Did not mean to say primary orange. Oops. So let's go into, what do you think? Maybe that tree looks pretty good like that. Let's Let's give it some texture. We're going to go into phthalo green and a touch of sap green. Let's just touch this right in here. Same colors, just going up a little higher. And it's working out the shadow in here. I don't care about the fuzziness, doesn't bother me. Can even go into a lighter green if we want, and kind of. It's like almost like a lime. I like to use it for a brighter green. We're just going to tap that in here. Instead of using a white, you can do it with a blue. You can do it with any color you want, really. Just depends how you feel. Just tap that in there. Kind of bring it. Now I may or may not add branches to this. I don't know. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow. Mix it in my green. And I still have some brown because I'm picking it up here. So. And let's just tap that in. This is just a coarse brush. And a little bit in here. Now, if you want to go into your dark, and you just want to maybe add a little bit of twist to your tree. Tree that look of maybe a little bit of a twisted tree. It's really easy to do. Back into some browns. Maybe put a little bit of a that's all right. I know we did a lot of stuff underneath it, but we're going to actually take our fan brush. We're going into that lime colored green and into our sap green, kind of mix the two. Maybe a tiny touch of white in it, a tiny one. I mean, I'm talking micro mixed on my, and I don't usually mix over here, but we're going to do it this time. So I want a certain color. Now I want this side. It'll kind of still show up the little stripes. If we lose them, we lose them. Maybe we weren't so impressed with them. Maybe we want them to go away. Yeah, well, that's okay too. We're going to add some brighter moss colors. And down this side. We like the green better. Yeah, I like the green better than the striped. So let's kind of drop that one out of there. Of course, I like green, so that's probably fine. Now I'm going to add just a few fairly bright, kind of a mixture of that lime and sap green again. Just a corner of phthalo. And we'll think about where it's going. Somewhere's in here, probably. Now you notice when I put it on my brush, I leave it kind of separated. I don't want to make it super smooth. I'm basically smashing down with it. And we didn't add very many branches over here, but maybe they're really tiny. Maybe we just can't see them. Nobody says it's. Maybe that's what we did. They're just going to tell us any different. That's what we were thinking about when we did it. Yeah. They're there, but they're not there, you know. Now, I always like to add a little something in the middle too. Just so it looks like there's something there. Because you know that there's branches in here. They don't only grow on one side of the tree. They don't do this with nothing here. Unless of course it's dying, in which case it might be. I'm gonna put a little bit out here. I know there's nothing going to it. But maybe it comes up and you know, you don't know. You can always pretend. We're not going complicated tree today. So we're going to go a little darker. Still not really cleaning the brush much. It's still a mess. And we'll just kind of tap this in right here. Right up on this tree. Something like that. I'll go a little bit the lighter color on the other side. And like right in here. Something like that. I'm going to go into my white, into that bright green. Now you notice this side, everything's darker, but on this side this is dark, yeah, because now we have really bright green. So now we're going to just kind of highlight. Now we have that nice shadow under there, so it looks like it's really bright right here. Yeah. Give it the illusion. Maybe we'll poke a couple of those over here. Just maybe some sun pokes through this side a little bit way over here. Now I'm going to go back into that white green. It's really kind of a bright color. And we're going to pick a few spots. And maybe just a tiny one. We're only going on this side. I'm not going to do a whole lot over here. Maybe a little bit here. But not too much. So again, we left a couple of dark spots. Looks like there's some knots in there. It's not a real complicated picture. Took us, what, 30 minutes to paint it? It's a simple tree. It's not crazy. And if you want, I mean, look at me right now. I'm kind of looking at this thinking, wow, you know, it just doesn't look quite. It needs, you know, this right here. Don't be afraid to put them in. Don't be afraid to add a few little branches here and there if you want, right over the top. These are very tiny little brush. I'm just gonna go over like that. I think that'll do it. Let's grab our red paint marker. Make sure we get some paint on it. You get the kind of, you gotta kind of push it up and down for a second. Let's pick a spot. What do you think? Right here in the middle? Sure. A little tiny one right here. Your choice of what you want to put for a signature. Me, I pretty much always have that bird. And there we go. I painted it in black so it kind of disappears a little bit. I don't want to, I mean, I like people to know who's painted it, obviously, but I don't want it to be imposing. And don't forget, don't sign on your tape. It's it's a pain. Now, I taped a friend of mine, and one of the people who taught me how to paint, grayscale painting, he used to tape his paintings, the watercolor paper ones. And I realized that it makes this beautiful sharp edge. And I like the look. I like how nice and clean it looks. Let's back you up just a tiny bit, so y'all can see the whole picture. But there we go. Simplistic tree, nothing complicated. Got some nice colors in it. Nice mountains in the background, which, as you remember, they were fairly easy to do too. But thank you so much, everybody, for coming to visit today. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, that thumbs up's really nice. If you want to comment on my videos, that'd be great. Let me know what you want me to paint. I don't do animals. I try to stay away from them. Stay away from buildings, and I like doing nature. I live in the nature, so I kind of like painting it. Love trees. Love birch trees. So pretty much woods. Think that way. I can do beaches and sunsets and sunrises, and we've done all those. I have thousands of videos. Go check them out. You can see where I came from, the beginning of my paintings to where I'm at now. It's quite the journey. I have a whole series on just painting easy, simple snowmen, but funny in a way. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. Please enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. We never get that guarantee of tomorrow. So we need to live the one we have. Be kind to people. We'll see y'all later. Much peace.